Some people may have heard of toe yoga, and I will go over it, but I want to go over why it's important and how it impacts the rest of the body. So just to quickly review toe yoga, when you lift your so it's essentially you're lifting your big toe and you're leaving all the other toes on the ground, and then you're lifting the little toes and you're leaving the big toe on the ground, all while maintaining your arch. And that's important, that you're not lifting the forefoot and you're not losing the arch. It's important to maintain your foot tripod, which is your heel, the big toe knuckle, and then the outside, the fifth toe knuckle, essentially. So that's what forms your tripod. And as you go through toe yoga, where you lift the big toe and lift all the little toes, it's so important that you maintain that tripod so that you can experience a good foot pronation and a good foot supination. So why is that important, and how does that impact the rest of the body? So let's take one of these at a time. So when you lift just your big toe, let's go through that one. What we want to see is not only lifting the big toe, but we want to see a little bit of an external rotation at the ankle here. So if you look at the two bones that make your ankle, in between is kind of a squishy part. Okay, that as you lift the big toe, that needs to externally rotate just a little bit. So do you lift your big toe, and do you have the ability to rotate externally through there? You'll notice that if you do that, it creates even more of an arch. Again, don't lose the inside of the foot, so you're not lifting that metatarsal head off the ground, okay? Because then your foot just acts like a paddle and you don't take advantage of your arches, okay? So again, last time, lift your big toe, and you should see a subtle external rotation, okay, of the ankle, okay? The other one, and we're going to go into a little bit more detail there, but as you lift your little toes, okay, it's important again that you don't lose contact with the fifth met head, okay? Because then that's just an eversion, it's not an actual pronation. So what we're doing when we lift the little toes is that we're encouraging pronation, and then when we lift the big toe, we're going to facilitate supination. Okay, so when you're lifting the little toes, you're essentially pushing the big toe and the big toe joint into the ground. Okay, that needs to be coupled with a knee flexion. So this is all pronation. What happens when we pronate and when we're absorbing force, when we land, when we run, when we walk, okay, is that we need to pronate. So when you're pushing your big toe into the ground and you're maintaining your tripod, the knee will want to bend, and then you're also anterior tilting your pelvis slightly, and you can try to lift the little toes, or at least take the pressure off the little toes, okay? And then to revisit when you're lifting the big toe, that's your supination, okay? So your supination happens at your foot when you're right before you land, and you pronate and you resupinate. So when you're toeing off, you're going to want to make sure that you're not in the pronation, so that you're experiencing supination. So that's when the big toe is lifting, you're encouraging the ability to supinate. Okay, so if you did want to practice, you kind of get in a little bit of a toe off position. I'd say keep actually we'll go before toe off. So as the foot starts to supinate, when the heel's still on the ground, you need a straight knee, okay? If you're a bent knee, it's not going to happen. The knee needs to be straight, and we're externally rotating through the pelvis. The pelvis is rotating towards the same side, okay? You're lifting that big toe, maintaining the tripod, and all the little toes are pushing into the ground a little bit, okay? And then the opposite again with the pronation, where the big toe is being pushed into the ground, knee is bending, pelvis is rotating away. We're feeling more pressure on the inside of the foot. We're also pushing through that met head, okay? So one last time, we'll revisit these. So When we're lifting the big toe, the ankle is externally rotating, but we're maintaining that foot tripod. The knee is straight and the pelvis is rotating towards the same side, okay? When we are pushing the big toe into the ground, the knee is bending, we're pronating. The pelvis is anterior tilting, okay? And I forgot to mention on supination, your pelvis would be posterior tilting, okay? So again, pushing the big toe in, knees bending, pelvis is rotating away with a little bit of an anterior tilt, okay? All while maintaining the tripod. Okay, so that's toe yoga 2.0. Really not that complex. It sounds complex, but it all makes sense. So I encourage you to experience this yourself. Let me know how it feels.